So, are you fighting chaos today? Or maybe you're just wearing one of those exhausting masks just to get through it all, trying desperately to keep everything perfectly under control. Look, we all do it. But what if I told you that your feverish attempts to micromanage the world are exactly what's blocking your true potential?
In this explainer, we are diving deep into the inner workings of Act 2, the systemic confrontation. We're going to explore exactly how to stop fighting chaos and really master adaptive agility. We'll discover why embracing the total collapse of human control is actually a secret weapon. It's the key to integrating your shadow and transmuting all that chaos into pure, unadulterated, creative force.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the illusion of control, psychological entropy and chaos, meeting the hidden shadow, the systemic confrontation itself, the transcendent function, and finally, integrating your wholeness.
Section 1. The illusion of control, the exhaustion of the ego. You know, we live in a world where we honestly think we can just plan and speculate our way out of literally every problem. But this constant, feverish mental activity, it just creates a super fragile, artificial order. I mean, it's exhausting. As the spiritual teacher Joel Goldsmith pointed out, true freedom, peace, and abundance simply do not depend on external circumstances. If you're waiting for the outside world to align perfectly before you finally relax, well, you'll be waiting forever, right? The truth is, the kingdom is within. By letting go of the ego's demand to manage every tiny detail, we actually discover our realm of power completely untouched by the outside world.
Moving on to Section 2, Psychological Entropy and Chaos, when closed systems break down.
So, when we insist on absolute external control, we essentially create a closed system. And based on the work of Helio, we really have to look at what science says about closed systems, specifically through the lens of entropy. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that a system naturally tends to increase in disorder over time. Think of it like a teenager's bedroom. It definitely doesn't clean itself. To build something or even just maintain artificial order, you have to constantly inject force. Your ego is basically working overtime, repressing absolutely anything that contradicts it. It is literally a battle against physics.
Now here is the crucial comparison. Both Carl Jung and Helio warn us that a closed psychological system, a rigid ego that refuses help and denies its own hidden data, naturally breeds massive internal disorder. But an open system, that is adaptive. It integrates new, even uncomfortable information. If you don't surrender the ego's absolute control, the entropy simply builds up until you snap. Actually, your crises act as a compass for your integrity. They show you exactly where the system needs to open up and where necessary entropy is taking place.
Section 3. Meeting the hidden shadow, the dark side of our light.
See, trying to control life in a purely linear way merely pushes all of our rejected aspects straight into the darkness, creating this intense buildup of pressure that inevitably manifests as a systemic shadow. And it doesn't just sit there quietly either. Drawing on the book The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, author Debbie Ford highlights the painful internal broadcasts our repressed shadow sends us. Messages like, "I am not good enough," "I am not attractive," "I don't deserve success," or "I have no value." We try to muffle these voices with heavier, more exhausting masks, telling ourselves everything is totally fine while our inner reality quietly falls apart.
And this brilliantly illustrates what Carl Jung noted about our world being dissociated, kind of like a neurotic. We project our own shadow onto others. We see their egotism, their flaws, and completely ignore our own. Jung famously said, if we could see our shadow, we should be immune to any moral and mental infection. Hiding from ourselves is literally what invites the chaos in.
Section 4. The Systemic Confrontation, the Collapse of Human Control. To truly heal, the ego must eventually face a total collapse of its artificial control. The breakdown of those old tools you rely on isn't an error. It's actually a healthy, necessary opening where real unlearning begins. Connie Zwig maps this out beautifully using alchemy. Step 1 is first contact, pure horror at the shadow. Step 2 is melanosa, or the blackening. Think of this as a temporary clouding of consciousness. It feels like a terrifying defeat of the ego, but it is absolutely essential. You just have to tolerate this intense tension of opposites to reach Step 3, which is integration. Which brings us to Section 5, the transcendent function, uniting the light and the dark. Now you might be wondering, what's the point of all this? Well, the goal isn't to just wallow in the darkness. The shadow is also home to our most vital creative impulses. Jung discovered that by uniting conscious awareness with the unconscious shadow, something incredible happens. He called it the transcendent function of the psyche, It's not the light and it's not the dark. It's a brand new third way, a completely new symbol born from the union of opposites. Integrating this hidden data literally activates a new, high-consciousness frequency.
It's the ultimate spiritual paradox, right? The lion and the lamb unite in the kingdom. The black and the white unite in the gray. So what happens when you stop rejecting parts of yourself? You reclaim your greatest treasures. You stop fighting yourself. You accept error as valuable information, and you unlock a profound, unified power.
Section 6. Integrating your wholeness, the art of adaptive agility.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it ties everything together practically. Joel Goldsmith teaches that true meditation isn't about intense, rigid focus. It's really about letting the mind relax. It's the ultimate unlearning of those old ego tools and temporary crutches. When you stop planning, stop speculating, stop forcing things, and simply listen to the inner self, the truth moves from being just an intellectual concept in your head straight down into a living reality in your heart.
And the fruits of this integration? They are absolutely undeniable. You gain freedom from external circumstances, meaning you are no longer reacting to every single little thing that goes wrong. You release vital energy that you previously wasted on just hiding your true self. You literally transform systemic chaos into pure creative force. You step into an adaptive consciousness where reality actually begins to transform effortlessly around you.
So, I leave you with this final, provocative question to ponder today. What old tool, what mask, or what illusion of control are you ready to let go of today so that your true, unified strength can finally emerge? If you are ready to stop seeking linear solutions and master the mechanisms of your own systemic integration, please like, comment, and subscribe to join our conscious community. We have so much more to explore together. See you next time.